Gamers, what's good, guys? So it seems that we may have a couple of interesting news going on in Master Duel right now. New limited list update? What already? But we just got a ban list. So unlimiting MX Saber Invoker. I'm not exactly sure what this is for. I mean, this card is really good. If you guys don't know what this card does, I'm pretty sure it summons like a Beast Warrior or something from your deck. I haven't seen this card in ages. Give me a second here. Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of random. They could have probably unhid this card like just on the actual ban list. Maybe they just forgot. Honestly, that's pretty funny. But yeah, so this card is pretty cool. It takes 2 level 3 monsters, and you can detach a material from this card once per turn. Not a hard once per turn, by the way. Special summon 1 level 4 Earth Warrior or Beast Warrior monster from your deck in defense position, but destroyed during the end phase. That doesn't really matter because you'll be using it for material, right? I can't really think of a current deck that would run this. Maybe it could be helpful for like rank 3 decks, like I don't know, Phantom Knights maybe. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any idea what you might want to run this in, at least in like the higher end of the format. Like I can't think of like a somewhat meta deck that would even run this, but maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm missing something here. And if you say 6 Sam, you're banned. As for the pack here, well, I was hoping we would see maybe Purely so that we would have something to face off against the weird format that we're going to be heading into after this new ban list comes into effect. But it seems like we're just getting a money grab. This might end up being one of, if not the worst selection pack we see in Master Duel history. As you can see here, it's just a bunch of like anime cards at UR. Now, I'm not saying all these support cards are bad. Supposedly Red Eye Soul can be pretty good in Dragon Link, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. But yeah, you know, Blackluster Soldier, Legendary Swordsman, The Breaking Ruin God, Red Eye Soul, Dark Magician, Knight of Dragon Magic, Utopia Rising. So a bunch of just anime support is going to be coming in this pack. I think this was leaked by Decade a while ago. Well, not leaked. He made an educated guess that turned out to be correct, it seems. But yeah, anyway, we can read some of these cards if you guys want. I mean, there's some that are cooler than others, so let's go and check out some of these cards. So if we take a look at this list of educated guesses from Decade here, we can see every card mentioned as well as other cards not mentioned being in here. I'm kind of hoping that the Crystal Beast support is not going to be UR since it was not listed, but you know, you never know with this stuff. You got some cards that are not mentioned like DDDD. Pretty much every card on here I would say is basically confirmed if we're getting everything else in here. The first one I want to talk about is Red Eye Soul. This card's name becomes Red Eye's Black Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. If your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can send this card from your hand or field to the grave. Special summon 1 Red Eye's monster from your hand or deck except Red Eye Soul. You can only use this effect of Red Eye Soul once per turn. Quick effect, you can target 1 Red Eye's Black Dragon in your monster zone, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. The burn effect doesn't really matter. The only thing that's pretty cool about this is if your opponent special summons a monster, you can send this card from your hand and special summon a Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon from your deck, and that is pretty busted. That card is really good, so you will be seeing probably Red MD see some extra play thanks to this, and that might be really good for Dragon Link. This might actually be good in Dragon Link. It's almost like a halveness for Dragon Link, kinda. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Honestly, I think this is probably going to be the best card in the pack. And if you're a Dragon Link player, maybe you'll want to try it out. I'm not sure if this is going to be a definitive card in Dragon Link. I'm not super sure about that, but this does seem like quite playable in the deck. So maybe it's even better than I think. So definitely don't sleep on this one. Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragon Magic. If your opponent attacks, it takes the Dark Magician plus 1 level 7 or higher Dragon or Warrior monster. It has piercing damage once per turn when your opponent destroys an opponent's monster by battle. You can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack, so it's a Flare Wingman. If this card is destroyed, you can special summon both 1 Dark Magician and 1 Gaia, the Dragon Champion, from your hand, deck, Esther deck, and or graveyard. Yeah, I don't even think this would see play in pure Dark Magician. So yeah, really bad UR. Utopia Rising. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 numbers exceeds monster in your grave except number 39 Utopia Rising. Special summon it in defense position. Then you can transfer this card's materials to that monster. If you exceed summon, you can special summon this card from your graveyard but banish it when it leaves the field. Ooh. This seems pretty good. In like a dedicated XCs deck, this is going to be an easy way to make Utopia Draco Future. Now, I know Utopia decks don't really struggle to make that in the first place, but this does seem pretty good in like XCs spam decks. I don't know if that's going to make them more relevant, but it seems pretty good. Blackluster Soldier, Legendary Swordsman. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos Form or Super Soldier Ritual. It must be ritual summoned. During your draw phase, before you draw, you can reveal this card in your hand. Give up your normal draw this turn, and if you do, add one ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during your battle phase. When this attacking card that was ritual summoned using a normal monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can shuffle all cards they control into the deck. Okay, so obviously this is not going to like make Blacklusters busted or anything, but this is a really cool card. I'm not gonna lie, this card is pretty sick. Kind of sucks that it's a UR. Kind of sucks that decks like these like are just filled with URs, so it costs a shit ton to even build these decks. But yeah, this is definitely really cool. I wish I could play it, but I'm definitely not going to be crafting this because why would you, right? But yeah, super awesome card. The Breaking Ruin God. This card is actually pretty cool. The activation of this card nor its effects can be negated, so completely unnegatable. Special summon one Obelisk the Tormentor from your hand or graveyard, and if you do, it is unaffected by your opponent's card effects this turn. So basically, it summons Obelisk, it's a big body, and it's unaffected, right? Pretty cool. If you tribute 2 or more monsters you control at the same time to activate a card or effect, while you control Obelisk the Tormentor, you can banish this card from your grave, banish all monsters in your opponent's graveyard, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each. So this seems pretty cool. It does play in tangent with the other flash spells that the Obelisk deck and just like Egyptian god decks have. So this does seem like a pretty interesting card. I mean, obviously no one's going to be playing this in the meta, but it is cool. The fact that it's a UR, again, really sucks. I'm kind of disappointed in that. Let's look at some cards that might not be UR since they're not listed. I mean, I'm not going to be looking at every single card that DK listed here, but I am a big fan of Crystal Beast, as you guys may know. Shout out to Neshi. And here we have Golden Rule. Place 2 Crystal Beast monsters from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells. Then special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand or grave with a different name than those cards, and if you do, equip it with this card. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. So this is an insane card. I mean, this is crazy. Placing 2 Crystal Beasts from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells is already really good. Then special summoning 1 Crystal Beast from your hand or grave is actually really not bad. This is actually like a really solid card. I don't know how many copies would be ran. I would have to ask Neshi. Neshi could tell me. Neshi will tell me. But yeah, this card seems really crazy, honestly, like just insane. All right, and this one here, Gravekeeper's Inscription, is kind of funny. Basically, this feels like it could have been decent in tier format. It's kind of like D-Shifter for decks that can't run D-Shifter. So at the start of your main phase, you can either decide that neither play can activate card effects in the grave until the end of your opponent's turn, neither play can banish cards from the grave until the end of your opponent's turn, or neither play can special summon monsters from the grave until the end of your opponent's turn. Now, obviously, it's not nearly as good as D-Shifter because it's not a hand trap. So you would want to activate this going first, and it might not even matter because your opponent might not be playing a deck that cares about this stuff. It's definitely not like the best card in the world and probably should not be a UR, but it is a pretty interesting card. It would be funny to see people play this. I don't know if people will. I think like tier is going to fall off a lot after the ban list. It's not going to be nearly as good. The best tier deck is probably going to be like branded with some tier cards in it. So yeah, I don't think this card is ever going to really see play in Master Duel, but I think it might have, like, it maybe could have seen play in Master Duel if it came out a little earlier. Maybe I'm wrong, like maybe I'm totally wrong, but I feel like it could have. Maybe not a UR though. Now look, I'm not about to read every single card that was showcased in the leaks. Like, I mean, honestly, this pack is just looking like the worst pack in the game ever. I don't even know if I'm going to be going into this pack. I might just save my gems, honestly. I do kind of want Red Eyes Soul. I do like Red Eyes a lot. Red Eyes is my favorite of the OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Like boss monsters, if you will. I have a little Red Eyes pop figure in the background, and I hate pop figures, so that tells you enough. I don't know, man. This pack is just looking awful. Don't waste your gems on this. Wait for Pearly. Wait for the next big set, obviously. And I feel bad for the people that want to play anime decks and are just keep getting screwed out of them. Like, it's like, oh, you want to play an anime deck? Well, you better spend that money and get those gems because we're going to make those decks hella expensive. Basic Konami move. They give you a great ban list, and then they make sure that you're not like too, they don't want you too infatuated with them. So they remind you, hey, look, we can still do shitty stuff like this awful pack right here. So, yeah, Konami L, it is what it is. Thank you for checking out the video. That's it from me. Okay. Peace.